Welcome to the Better Together podcast, where I talk about healing, human connection, and how positive intelligence can empower you no matter where you are on your growth journey. I'm your host, Nakiya, and in today's first episode, we'll be talking about where my healing journey started and the top 5 most important things to know if you are just starting on your healing journey. Before I jump into that list of things, let's level set. Humans have been doing this healing work for as long as we have been on this planet. It gets called different things over time and by different cultures, but it is the same at the root level. I call it healing, but maybe you've heard it called shadow work or personal development, inner child work, trauma healing, parts work, self-discovery, unconscious work, self-awareness development, or soul healing. The main thing I want you to know right now is that it doesn't matter what you call it because we are all talking about the same thing. When it is all said and done, healing is about alignment. Alignment with your values, with your soul's purpose, and with your authentic wants and needs, not the ones that society tells you that you should have. It's about looking inward in a world that is constantly trying to keep your attention elsewhere. It's about reevaluating all of the assumptions that you never thought to question before. And it's about honestly asking yourself what you want and need and kicking any guilt or shame about that to the curb. No matter where you're starting from, I'm so glad that you're here. Now let's get into that list of top 5 things to focus on when you're just beginning. Number 1 is find your why. There is tons of research out there that will tell you that you won't stick with a new habit unless you have a very strong why. Since you found me, you likely have at least an idea about why you want to do this important healing work. For a lot of people, there is some sort of an enough is enough type of moment. For me, it was my second panic attack brought on by corporate life burnout. Your why might be similar to mine. Maybe you're facing burnout similarly, but maybe you're not. Maybe your why is about simply wanting to show up better in personal relationships because you know you've handled some disagreements poorly. Your why only matters to you, and only you know what will motivate you and keep you moving forward when things get hard. Your why will reinforce your commitment to living an authentic life. One of the best things that you can do to solidify your why is to imagine all the ways that your life could change if you're able to do this important healing work. Will you have better relationships with family members or coworkers? Will you be able to finally calm your nervous system and get out of that constant fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode? Will you be able to prioritize your needs without feeling guilty about it? Whatever it is that you really want as a result of this healing work, write it down. Make a vision board, sing it, whatever it is that will help you stay focused on the goal, do that thing. Okay, you're going to find your why. Check. Next, number 2, you're going to stop waiting for the quote unquote right time. How many times in your life have you said, I'll start on Monday, or I'll start on the 1st of next month, or January 1st? I'll start once things calm down in my life. Guess what? Things are never going to calm down. There will always be another thing until you prioritize this path. It will always feel like you don't have time because that response is actually one of your saboteurs. It's the judge. If you've read the book Positive Intelligence or consumed my content elsewhere, you might be familiar with one of the most important aspects that I teach during my Better Together group coaching program, the saboteurs. I will do future episodes that deep dive even further into those, but for now, all you need to know is that there is a single master saboteur, the judge, that every person alive has. And then there's 9 accomplice saboteurs that partner up with the judge anytime that there is a real or perceived threat in your life. The thing is, these were developed in your childhood to help you survive, literally. And even though you have grown up and most of the challenges that you face are not life or death type things, your coping mechanisms, these saboteurs, can't tell the difference. When it comes to dealing with the judge, the best first step that you can take is to acknowledge that you are not your judge. Even though you might hear the voice in your head, the judge is not an identity. None of your saboteurs are. By being able to other your judge, it allows you to see the situation from a more objective vantage point. So if you're at this point and you hear a voice in your head saying that you don't have time to prioritize yourself and your healing journey, know that that voice is not your own. Give your judge a name. Call them a jerk who isn't playing nice with you, and tell them to go sit in the corner while you do this important work. I did it and it works quite well. It is not selfish to prioritize your own needs so that you can show up as your best version. If this is an area that you struggle with, and I know a lot of women do, I want you to schedule some dates with yourself. I know it might sound silly, but do it anyway. Block off the time in your calendar right now. Pause the episode if you need to. It's going to feel weird, but do it anyway. This is an exercise in prioritizing your own needs, just like you prioritize the needs of people around you. Whatever you do, do not allow that time to be taken by anyone or anything. If you have to trick your own mind, think about it like a doctor's appointment that you've waited 6 months for. You are that important. Then use that time that you have blocked off for literally anything that you want to do. It could be taking a bath, listening to a new album uninterrupted, going for a walk, reading a book, journaling, meditation, or literally anything that you enjoy. You don't have to justify it. It's your time. Growth is all about that first small step, and then another and another. Set those dates with yourself. Okay. You're going to find your why, and then you're going to stop waiting for the right time to start. Next, number 3, you're going to start where you are with what you can. People realize their desire to start or amp up their healing journey for a million different reasons at all different stages of life. There is no wrong way to do healing. It is all good stuff. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of books or programs before you've done your research. There is no rush on this path. Once you start, healing is a lifetime commitment. It is a way of being. Take a deep breath with me. You're going to do the research at your own pace, but you're just going to be consistent with whatever it is that you choose so that you don't forget about it. You're going to consume as much of the free stuff as you can, and then spend your money wisely. I will say, there is no such thing as consuming too much self-help or healing content. The key is discernment. Some advice will be in alignment with what you need, and some will not. Give yourself permission right now to say, this little nugget may be helpful for someone else, but it isn't for me, and skip past it, or put the book down, or end the podcast, whatever it is. Your time is your most valuable resource. Start treating it as such, and stop giving sunk costs so much power in your life. You don't have to finish it just because you started it. I have known people who simply committed to journaling consistently for a year before diving deeper because they needed that time to get to know themselves and to learn what their desires really were after a lifetime of never considering themselves. There can be a lot to unpack and sit with on a healing journey, and there's no use trying to jump ahead. You will always find your way back to the original root cause that needs your attention. Tip number 4 is to figure out which tools work best for you and then seek them out. Podcasts like this one, social media creators, self-help books, therapists, particularly if you have past traumas that you want to work through, coaches like myself, if you're looking for guidance on moving forward with your life in full alignment. Again, there's no right or wrong tool, only right or wrong for you in this moment. Listen to your intuition. If something resonates, follow that path. If it doesn't, put it down and move on. And to round out the top 5, number 5 is don't underestimate the power of your spoken words. Our brains process information differently when we say something out loud compared to just thinking a thought. It becomes more real in some way. Coaching and therapy are both powerful tools because of the simple act of saying out loud what we're thinking. While I would love for you to join me in the Better Together group coaching program, I know that most people aren't ready to start there, and that's okay. Most phones have some form of a voice notes type app. Start there if it makes sense for you. I personally love the Voxer app, and I use it in my coaching practice with my clients. The cool part, though, is that you can also leave voice messages to yourself without having to send them to anyone. Talk to yourself about your challenges for as long as you need to. Again, there's no such thing as too much healing work. In my 20s and 30s, I read dozens of self-help books and listened to a few podcasts. In my 40s, I started consuming even more podcasts, content creators on all of the social media platforms, and ultimately therapy and coaching. All of it was valuable and important, and none of it was wasted. So let's recap. Number 1, find your why. Make sure that it resonates for you personally. Number 2, stop waiting for the right time because now is the right time. Number 3, start where you are with what you can. Expense does not need to become part of the equation unless you want it to. Number 4, figure out which tools work for you and seek them out. And number 5, don't underestimate the power of saying the words out loud. I hope that you are excited about your future because the simple fact that you are here and listening to this podcast tells me that there are great things ahead for you. And that brings us to the end of this Better Together episode. I hope you enjoyed learning about the top 5 most important things to know if you are just starting out on your healing journey. Be sure to tune in every other week for new episodes. The next episode will be about my PQ Pod experience. You won't want to miss it. Don't forget to follow Belief and Balance Coaching on TikTok. And if you like this episode, be sure to like, follow, and share. If you're interested in coaching services, check out beliefandbalancecoaching.com. And until next time, keep loving yourself and leading with empathy.